Merry Christmas, everyone! It's Vlogmas day 14, and guys, I'm so excited. Christmas is honestly, you've heard me say so many times, my favourite time of year. And I also realised just now that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing another jumper. I literally, guys, come home from work and I shove my hair up and after a long day, and I literally just get into my husband's clothes. This jumper we found in one of the boxes we kept in storage for the last 3 years we're in America. And I was like, oh my gosh, Luke, I love it, don't get rid of it, it's so Christmassy. And although it's just an old jumper from Topman from years ago, it's oversized, it's big, and it's just so cozy. So I also realised that these evening videos that I'm filming are just me kind of in my scruffs, but I love it and it's perfect. So today I'm really excited. I'm doing another cooking vlog, and it's so fun. I actually feel like I'm on my own little talk show, cook show, and it's amazing. And today I am going to be showing you one of my other recipes that I created over the last couple of years in America, and it's a persimmon crumble. Persimmons, you'd have seen the photo before on the list of ingredients, what they are, and it's this cute little fruit. I actually haven't done much research on it. It's got this cute little star flower thing in it though, and if you can see, I hope you can. If not, I'll come to the camera. Look at that. Whoa! And it is like, they're so sweet. They're amazing. And so I managed to pick these up from Waitrose actually, and I've got a bit of hair sticking down. And it's amazing. They're just so much fun, this fruit. And so fun fruits. If I was still a teacher, I'd probably like print with them because they've got this cute little star in them. So anyway, persimmon crumble. I found these persimmons from Waitrose, and I'm excited to share this recipe with you. As I've said before, during my time in America, I got, or I became intolerant to so many foods, whether it was the American food or whatever it was. I got really sick, saw a doctor and nutritionist, and they were like, yep, a lot of internationals get this when they come to America. And so I basically went on a bit of a hunt to look for the best diet that was going to work for me while I was out there, because it was pretty much, it's actually really stressful and depressing to have so many restrictions and not be able to have so many things. So I came across the paleo diet, which you've heard me speak about a couple of times before now. And it was coming up to Christmas 3 years ago, so this was our first Christmas in America. And everyone was like Instagramming and Facebooking these beautiful recipes of pies and crumbles they were making for Christmas, and I was pretty like distressed about the fact that I'm not going to be able to have any of it. So I went out and looked for some recipes of things that I could actually have, and I was like, there's so much that I can't have, and I came up with this. I just gathered a few things together. I was like, how hard can it be to make a crumble type thing? At the time, I actually remember I was craving an apple crumble, and I love the top, how it goes crispy, and it's just amazing. And so here we are. This bowl's in the way, but I am going to show you how I make my persimmon crumble, and I will leave, as always, the list of ingredients below, and also the method and how I do it. But I really hope you enjoy this video. I forgot this last time when I made my sweet potato pie, but preheat the oven to about 230 degrees Fahrenheit. I still actually don't know what that is in Celsius, or maybe it is in Celsius. I'm getting so confused, but I'll also find out and leave it down below like I did last time. What we start off doing though is you get these, you slice your persimmons, and you basically just layer them in the bottom. And actually it doesn't need to be fancy, it doesn't need to be posh, because hey, the crumble's going to go on top and it's all going to be a bit of a mess anyway. So layer them on. Layer, 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 layer. I like mine really, really thick. There we go. The next thing that I do, which I've tried a variation of both actually since making this. first of all, I tried it with just persimmon. Sometimes I added pears, sometimes I added apples. Sometimes it was just this. Other times I've added other fruits. This also, although I'm making a persimmon crumble today just because it reminds me of Christmas, I've also made crumbles before, as I said, with different fruits. But persimmon definitely is my favourite. It's amazing. But I also love raisins, and so I also sprinkle a few little raisins on the bottom, which just makes it really, really tasty. And just pour the rest in. Just really nice, gives it a bit of a kick. And also when raisins or sultanas are in the oven, they get, I'm going to forget about a bit here, but they get really crunchy. They almost go like a tartness, which is amazing. The next thing I use just a tiny bit of is molasses, which I used last time, or that was actually an ingredient that I used last time for the sweet potato pie, if I remember correctly. And this is an unrefined cane sugar, so it hasn't got it's not been refined. So basically it's in its most natural form of like a raw sugar. It's really dark. A lot of people that had this really loved it, but they can definitely tell the difference between, say, like a refined sugar to an unrefined sugar and a dark sugar. Muscovado sugar also works really well, or just like a brown raw sugar. And I literally used, guys, just to recap, I used 3 persimmons, if I think I said that. Raisins, I literally just used half a cup, but obviously it depends as preference on what you personally like. So I don't like a huge amount, but enough. So, and then the sugar, I measure out a cup of the molasses sugar because I actually use some for the crumble topping as well. But I also love to get it, it's quite a sticky sugar, and I just like to scrunch it in my fingers and just put a tiny bit over the persimmons. It keeps them from getting too tart when they're cooking, and it stays super sweet. As I said, I don't use a lot of this. It's kind of, again, down to personal preference, which is great when we're doing this. Another thing that you can also use, and that I sometimes use, is a bit of honey. So I get just a tiny little spoon, and I literally just drizzle tiny bit of honey over the top. This is raw clove honey, which is really nice. Just keeps it really nice and sweet at the bottom, which is always really good. And it should just start like this, so layered, nice. It looks so Christmassy, and look next to that. Oh my gosh. Next thing then, guys, is that I just keep that to the side for now. Then I get my bowl, and in this bowl, I've got some sugar everywhere. In this bowl is when you have to get nitty gritty into it. So I use, although I eat paleo, I've actually just recently started to introduce gluten-free oats to my diet, which I'm actually getting on okay with, touch wood. Not that I believe that touch wood is whatever. But when I first used to make it, I basically used almond flour, coconut flour, and just chopped nuts, which really does work well. But actually I've made it a couple of times for other people with oats to make real crumbly top. And this is actually my first time trying it for me to eat it with the oats, but it is my favourite way to do the crumble topping. So here I've got 2.5 cups of oats. It really does depend on how much, like the thickness of the oats and the crumble bit on top that you like, but 2.5 cups gluten-free oats, organic from Waitrose, weren't expensive at all. I then also measured out 2 tablespoons of coconut powder. I then also use coconut flour. I've measured 2 tablespoons, but I often don't use it, but I just keep it just in case I need more. I literally just sprinkle it on, and as you then grind it, like mash it, knead it, whatever the word is, together, you can then sometimes feel the texture, and I decide kind of halfway through if I feel I need more. So don't put too much in at first. I literally, as you saw, just put probably only a couple of teaspoons, then not even a full tablespoon. Next thing then is more of the molasses sugar. I use a bit more obviously this time. It's actually like really moldable, you can just put it into balls, but I literally just crumble it on top of the oats and the coconut flour. Yeah, I'm probably going to need the rest of this, which is fine. Just like scrape it all in with your fingers. Make sure there's some lumpy bits left as well, because then it really gets crispy once it's been in the oven. The next thing that's really important is my favourite, you can't see it, but Himalayan salt, pink crystal salt. Just a little bit. I love the mixture of sweet and salty, so I mix quite a bit of that in. And then the final thing is ghee. Now, most crumbles call for butter. Now, I can't really tolerate dairy much at all, although I am starting to try and introduce it back. However, ghee is an unclarified butter, so it doesn't have as much of the lactose content in. I think I'm saying that right. So it's butter and it's from dairy, but as I said, the lactose levels in it, the content isn't as high as normal butter, but it's an unclarified butter, so I guess it hasn't been pasteurised or all those kind of things. I got this from Sainsbury's. It was £3.85, I believe. I'll find out and leave it down below. And it's also in the world food section aisle, so don't go looking in the dairy bit because you won't find it. And I basically use half a cup of this because I don't like it too strong, and I melt it just because it helps then keep the crumble topping sticking together and a bit more crumbly. So I just put this in and I mix it together. Sometimes I do find that I could do with a bit more of the ghee, but for the most part it's usually okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. And then you literally just knead it together, mix it together, make sure the ghee goes around it all. I'm losing, every time I do these videos I feel like I just lose track of my words. Disperses, I guess that's the right word, around the right topping bits. Make sure the ghee is in the right places, you know what I mean. And then, guys, all we're going to do, we're going to bring this over here. I'll bring this over here. And we're literally going to put the crumble bits on top. As it cooks, the ghee really sticks the crumble topping together really nicely. So if it doesn't feel like it's sticking at the time of putting it on, don't worry, that's not a problem at all. Just make sure it's spread evenly and nicely. If you like things really, 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 really sweet, I've also before, depending on who I'm making it for, will tend to sprinkle a tiny bit more of the sugar on top of the crumble. Make sure it's all in. That way it just crystallises even more and it's just really yummy. And I pat it down but try and keep it up as well, excuse me. And also, I've also put some honey sprinkled over the top because that crystallises it again even more, but I feel like I've put enough sugar in this one for now. So that is all ready to go in the oven. I put this in the oven for anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, but I do keep checking it because I like the crumbly bits to go really crunchy and the persimmons to keep a bit of crunch but actually create a lot of juice at the bottom, which is amazing. So 45 minutes to an hour. Again, it's obviously on a lower temperature than most, I guess, actually maybe it's not, but I just feel that time limit here is always perfect for me. But I really do want to stress the fact that just please keep checking on it because you don't want it to burn. And then there you have it, a persimmon crumble. I'm going to let that cool and I'm probably going to eat some tomorrow. My favourite thing to have it with is coconut whipped milk cream. So you basically get coconut milk or coconut cream in a can, put it in the fridge overnight. When you get up in the morning or in the evening when you want it, take the lid off and it would have like a film of water on the top. Tip the water away and then you can whip the cream that's left, and it's really, really nice if you like coconut. It's amazing. If you don't, then probably don't go for that option. Go for custard or ice cream. And so yes, I should enjoy this tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really loving doing these food vlogs. It's so much fun in the kitchen. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did like it. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I shall see you tomorrow for another Vlogmas Fun Day vlog. Bye!